Hello everyone! So last time we were busy with our big band, we were doing an improv solo on the sax, and towards the end I asked if anyone would be interested in writing a sax solo, and Mark Noah Taylor, so that's Mark Taylor, the composer, came and said yes, he will be willing to help. So that's great. Thank you so much, Mark. I really appreciate it. And he sent me back this added part, so you can see he just on the alto sax added a stave. Very useful feature to do something like this so that you don't have multiple saxes. It's still called alto sax 1. We've just got two different staves on it, and he's got the solo. So let's go and have a listen to what he's written. Very nice. Thank you so much, Mark. This is a really cool solo. It is quite simple, which is nice. I write for school bands, and so you don't want anything too complicated, although perhaps there is room for some expansion of this, and I think that's going to be our main focus today, is adding some extra sort of ornaments and fun jazzy things into it. I am going to start first by just removing those, because they're interfering with the accents on this alto sax solo. Unfortunately, those brass mutes are still not working correctly, so let's just take them off with the trombones as well. So, jazz ornamentations. Often they can be found in not the ornaments palette where you might expect them, because these are for Baroque or classical ornaments, but actually in the arpeggios and glissandis palette. And of course, you could feel free to make yourself, say, a big band palette in which you put all the ones that you're most likely to use, and that would be a good idea. But essentially, it's these ones that we want to look at: the glissandos, falls, deuts, plop, and scoops. And we have some slides as well, which could be fun, but I've never tried them out. I'm going to restrict us to these ones today. So let's start with a fall. And I think we just want to find a good place. And there looks like a nice one, not on a long note. And let's have a fall on that note. Very easy to put in. And let's hear it. And that works really well with our MuseSounds saxes. So we're off to a good start. Yeah, let's just hear it with the whole group. And there's even a nice little, well, at the moment there should be a fill, but even having the gap sounds quite nice with that, to allow that fall to come through. Cool. All right, so fall is working. What about on some other instruments? Maybe we have, you know what, let's get all our saxes back. So let's take this point here where we have all the saxes together. Let's just hear them. And let's give them also a nice little fall on that note. So I'll just select all of those, go back to my palettes and fall. And nothing. Okay, so when I was experimenting with this a little bit, I found that we had to do this. For some reason, the falls do not like tied notes. Will that work? And that works. Okay, so it's just the tied note. What if we, just to try it out, put it on that? Okay, see, that's a bit quick. Yeah, so we do want it the longer length. Unfortunately, it messes up our grouping entirely. But for the sake of playback for now, we'll accept it. But that certainly works nicely on all the saxes. That looks like a nice place to put a fall, so let's do it there. Yeah, I'm not going to say it works brilliantly, but it does kind of work. What if we make it a bit longer? That's pretty cool. Can we give it an accent just to make it hit first? I suspect we can't, but let's try. Alright, that's fine. I like that. What about trombones? Trombones should give us a nice fall as well. Let's do it here on that first phrase again, and I would imagine we need to use that same trick. Wish we didn't have to select everything every time, but hey, that's MuseScore at the moment. Okay, so that was not a full. It was a bit louder, but it was not a fall. Okay, so obviously that's just a bug. Hopefully at some point we'll get some trombone falls. Interesting that it does not work the same over all instruments. Let's just make sure we are using MuseSounds. Yes, we are. We have them on trombones. Okay, let's try out a scoop, because that's the other very common one that we find in jazz big band writing. And let's start the scoop on the trumpets. In fact, this looks like quite a nice place to put it. Let's try it over here. Okay, I do hear a scoop. It's not the scoop I want. It's kind of starting after the beat and it's fading in. That was already better. Yeah, something about it just does not like... That's already better. I don't understand. Okay. There might be something about the playback engine that it just doesn't like that position. But a scoop is possible. Let's try it on our solo sax. That looks like a good place. Sorry, what was that? Okay, no, definitely not. However, in our new guitar palette though, we do have this grace note bend, and for some reason, beautiful effect. Just works perfectly. Let's listen one more time with everybody. I mean, that is exactly what we're looking for. So, grace note bend should be a scoop, but a grace note bend works for now. Again, playback-wise, I realize that notation-wise this is terrible, but if you want some good, proper sounding playback, there it is. Can we use that in the trumpets? Doesn't work so well on trumpets for some reason. You would think it would act just the same, but it doesn't. And trombones, how about here? Whoop, up. How about that? That could sound fun. Oh, come on. Trombones should be the kings of a scoop. Can we try a scoop? Nope, sorry. Scoops need some work. I mean, the idea is there. It's just... No, sorry. Okay, so maybe for this trumpet thing, maybe instead of these scoops, we need to just rather add a glissando up to that note. How about that? So let's go here. Gliss. Looks very beautiful. How does it sound? Hold on. Okay, so we actually have two things going on here. We have the gliss and we have the held note. That is interesting. We would expect it to just go up. Now, obviously, it's also doing, at the moment, we're going to properties and playback. It is doing a chromatic gliss, but we have all kinds of options. We could make it do, for instance, diatonic, which is perhaps better. It would be nice if we could make that a little bit delayed. How very cool would that be? Or even, wait, let's just hear this. It's not terrible. It just shouldn't have that held note underneath. Or wouldn't it be cool if we could get them to sort of squeeze it up there with a portamento? or just not, you know, whatever you feel like MuseScore, that's fine. Come on, again, trombones should be the kings of glissandos. Let's set this up. Okay, and of course these are all nice places to gliss for trombones. Can they do it? So we're hearing them again, like just going down to the next note. Here's a tone one. Good old euphonium gliss. No. Can we change it to portamento? Again, I suspect, judging from our last ones, that it will not. But we ever live in hope. Definitely not. Okay, so come on, trombones. Trombones need to be able to gliss in MuseScore. Let's make a push to get that right. How about the sax section? Okay, so here's a nice little sax accompaniment figure. Very cool. How great would it be? Whoop! So can we make that happen? Let us see. Maybe a scoop would be better? Nope. How about one of those bends? Oh, so close. But no. None of those working as yet. Okay. We will have to wait and hope for some more. Let's try one more for today, and let's just do it on this alto sax, and that is the Plop. That worked pretty well. I don't know why we're not holding that note on for its full value. Maybe if we make it tenuto. Okay, no, that's not working either, but a cool little plop down onto that note. That's quite nice. Definitely like that. So there's some good ornaments we can add. You know what? Let's go for one more, just because we know that the trumpets are going to be awesome at this, and that is Fluttertongue. And let's do it on a crescendo, and that we find in tremolos and the 3 lines. Yeah, cool. Fluttertongue is working. Trombones, how about you? I don't think it'll be appropriate here, but let's try it. Definitely not appropriate. But does work. There is Fluttertongue there. So that's pretty fun, actually. So let's use that and spice up this melody a little bit. See what we can get out of it. Give me a second. Unfortunately, there are very few places where this is working nicely. And so let's resort to doing some old-fashioned things, like actually writing notes in. I want to make it clear right now that I did get permission from Mark to alter and spice up his melody. He was quite happy for me to do that. Yeah, otherwise I certainly would not be messing with someone else's melody. But I'm very grateful for Mark for allowing me to do this and to let us experiment a little bit with adding some ornamentation. Okay, so let's go and have a listen to the final result. And something like that. I'm not saying it's consistent in its style. This bit feels a little beboppy for the general swing that we've got going on. But there we go, some ornaments in MuseScore. And again, I'm not saying all of them work, but it's a good start, and hopefully there is room for improvement on all of these MuseSounds to get a really nice ornamented jazzy sound. Thanks, and see you next time. Bye.